Welcome back, everybody. As promised, it is now tomorrow. Well, it's actually today, but it's tomorrow from yesterday. And as promised, we are back. It is March the 17th, 2025. It's St. Patrick's Day. And we're going to begin, before we even unbox, a minor rant, and it's against Amazon. Amazon has slipped into the abyss. This guitar was ordered 11 days ago. And originally when I ordered it, it's had the little thing on the side that says if you order within 2 hours and 15 minutes, it'll be delivered by next Wednesday. Well, that would be Wednesday of last week. Of course, they didn't even come close to that. So, rant out of the way. This is a Glarry. I think they call this their GL. This is their Thinline model. I am a member of the budget guitar universe, so that's one of the reasons why I was attracted by this guitar. I certainly do not need another Telecaster. I don't need another Thinline. I'm good on that. I got this for a couple reasons. First of all, the price was really good. It was $74. It had been off of Amazon's website for a while, and then it popped back on again, so I thought, maybe I better check it out. It looks like it. I always look for the telltale signs of it being returned. The tape looks like it's all single tape, although the styrofoam coffin here looks like it may have been opened. But anyways, I digress. So the reason why I thought I would get this is for a couple reasons. The price, yes, but you know, a bad guitar for free is still a bad guitar. I have no idea if this is a bad guitar. Well, it looks like it's a single tape job. Doesn't look like it's been retaped. This is, I think, the most inexpensive HS humbucker and single coil pickup Telecaster. So that's one of the reasons why I bought it. Another reason why I bought it was because it has the ashtray bridge, which a lot of people don't like. But a few Telecasters back, I bought the ashtray cover, and I sold the Telecaster, and I kept the cover, and I thought, well, if I ever get another one. A lot of people do not like the ashtray cover. I actually like it. I don't do a lot of palm muting, which is the #1 reason why people say they don't like it. I actually like it. Cover has broken through. And I like the color of this. I can already feel that the fret ends are sharp as hell. And they say that this has a rosewood. Oh, the wood actually looks pretty nice. So this is definitely going to get a quick spritz on the Ritz. Action looks pretty damn high. Let's see if that ashtray cover pops right on. Ah, looks pretty nice, huh? And I like that it has the see, that's the classic Telecaster look. And a lot of people don't like that, and that's fine. Everyone has choices. So, initial inspection, fret ends from hell. I mean hell, we're talking absolute H-E-L-L, the worst. The back of the neck could use a little bit of sandpaper. So we're going to do that. So we're going to give it a quick little wing and a ding. Plug it in, see what it does, and we'll be back. But initial inspection, it's a pretty guitar. I've seen some of these, and some of them were really sort of funky choices of wood, but this looks like they actually, yeah. So, we're going to go do that, and we'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. It's now about 6:30 in the evening. I did a little bit of setup on this guitar. Again, you know, I could say this over and over and over again, and I totally get the dilemma of the budget guitar makers how much time can you really spend on a guitar that you're going to turn around and sell for $75? And the answer is not much, but the problem is that the average person that's going to buy this guitar is going to be a first-timer. And again, the fret ends on this thing were freaking abysmal. You know, I've got a file and I've got some sanding sponges and some experience, and in 10 minutes I was able to take care of that. But your average first-timer is not going to have any of that equipment, and they're not going to know what to do, and they're just going to immediately put this thing back in the box and not play it or send it back. So I was able to alleviate that. Again, I'm more than surprised by this guitar. Glarry's got to be, just based on price, pretty much the bottom of the barrel. They have a sister brand, I can't pronounce it, Caxton, K-T-A-X-O-N, I don't know how to pronounce it. So I wasn't expecting much. Again, I was just taking a chance. And overall, this guitar is really quite pleasing. I mean, again, keeping in mind, it's certainly not a custom shop Fender or, you know, anything close to that. But the thing that surprised me most is I've seen quite a few reviews on this guitar, and the matching of the wood on this guitar is excellent. I mean, this would be as good as one could expect on an upper-priced Fender, as far as just matching the wood and the grains all straight, and there's not some like weird piece of wood. You know, I'm guessing there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of wood, but they match the grain really nice. The ferrules, if that's what they're called, are even. Some people, I mean, this one right here is a little off. Again, these are things that I just don't even like to pay attention to. There was roughness on the neck. It needed some, you know, 1000 grit sandpaper to take it down. I'm sure in the coming days, I mean, there's a couple little wing dings here and there, but nothing, you know, something that was surprising. The wood on the inside is actually sanded smooth. I've had more expensive guitars that were just completely raw lumber on the inside. I have added this. Some people hate it. I think it looks really cool. So that's what's nice about the world, is everyone gets to do what they want to do. Anyways, I will be back in a week or so, just to give an update. Again, the controls work smooth, switch works nice, it's quiet. Everyone has said, or not everyone, but most people have said that the bridge pickup is the weak link. I lowered it. When you have both pickups together, just turn the tone down, and the tone, by the way, works really good, better than more expensive guitars that I've had. I have no idea if this is really rosewood fingerboard. If it is, the grain's incredibly tight. I'm guessing they're probably fudging it by calling it rosewood. It's probably some engineered wood. But again, looking at the neck on this compared to that IYV guitar, again, this is as cheap as you can get, and they at least match the grain, and there's no like huge defects on it. The tuners work okay. They're cheap tuners, but they work, and it stays in tune. And keep in mind, these are the factory strings, and most people agree that these are like horrible strings, and yet, you know, I'm going to leave them on for the time being because I'm cheap and I'm lazy. Anyways, I think this is just classified as, let's see if the box gives us any information there. But yes, there was one other thing I was going to mention. I think this is just the Glarry GL, and this is the Thinline version. They have the solid body GTL. It's the Glarry 39-inch GTL semi-hollow. And this is in transparent wine red. And again, they did a really nice job with the color. The other thing I wanted to mention is that this is actually a lightweight guitar, and that shouldn't surprise you, being that it's a Thinline. But if you refer back to my other videos, my Gear-It Thinline was a pig. I mean, I think it was 8.5 pounds. And my understanding is, and I can't tell you if this is the absolute truth, but my understanding is that in the late 60s, as ash was getting denser and heavier, Telecasters were just turning into Les Paul heavy 9-10 pound guitars, and this was their solution to that, was to do the cutout. I have no idea if that's hollow up there. I'd have to get something and poke around. But the idea was to make it lighter, hence Thinline. I don't know if this is actually as thick as a typical Fender. It feels like it's a little thinner. But anyways, that wasn't what the Thinline meant. It meant that it was a lighter guitar. And so yeah, that Garrett guitar was an absolute pig. And then I just got a Donner, and while it weighed less, it was still pretty heavy for a Thinline. So if you don't like light guitars, obviously this wouldn't be for you. I prefer a lighter guitar, and the body resonates great. Again, probably the worst strings on planet Earth, and yet this guitar's got great sustain. So again, overall very pleased. Much better than I expected or hoped for. So I'll be back in a week with the final wrap up. Till then, spring is on its way. Hope springs eternal. And welcome back, everybody. It is, again, March the 31st, 2025. This is the roundup of the Glarry. I think this is called a GTL Thinline. I'm not really sure. Everyone sort of plays loose and fast with their models. So I've had this guitar for 2 weeks now. Overall, again, this is a budget guitar, and clearly it shows in its fit and finish. Actually, the fit and the finish on this guitar is above average. The hardware tuners work okay. The nuts cut reasonably well. The controls work well. It has the snuggest output jack of any guitar I've ever had. You've really got to muscle that thing, so that works good. The fret ends were abysmal. And again, one expects that on a budget guitar. This was probably one of the worst. I think I had a couple other guitars that were pretty bad as well. But as I mentioned before, and you're going into a coma as I speak, for the person who's most likely to buy this guitar, which is going to be a beginner, that is a deal breaker, because they don't have a file, they don't know how to file. They're going to have to take it to the local guitar store. It's not a high skill, it's something you can learn pretty quickly, but the guy at the guitar store, time is money. And they're probably going to charge you $30 to square away your fret ends, maybe more. And suddenly your bargain guitar is not such a bargain. And while I don't expect this to have rolled edges and, ball fret ends for the price they charge, if they think they're losing money by putting a little more effort into the guitar, imagine how much money they'll lose when nobody buys their guitars, because the word's out that, again, for the beginning guitarist, it's a deal breaker. If you do have the tools and you do have the skills, it's really not that big a deal. Put on some good music, pour a glass of wine, pull out your file, and get to work. And a half hour later, the guitar's as it should be. But anyways, overall, it's a good value. I bought it for two reasons. It was the lowest priced Telecaster Thinline style guitar that I could find that had a humbucker in the neck. And it also has the ashtray bridge, and I had bought one of these a while back, and I didn't have a Telecaster to use it on. And I know that seems like a ridiculous reason, and truly I'm a ridiculous guy. And most people don't like this thing, but I actually like it. I don't do a lot of palm muting, and I find it to be, number one, I think it looks cool. A lot of people think it looks like crap. And I find it very comfortable to rest my hand upon the cool chrome goodness. So there you go. And as I told you when I unboxed this, you can't really tell, but I was highly impressed with the wood matching, the way they match the grains. And I don't believe this is a veneer. It would be that'd be like pitching money away if they had put a veneer on this guitar. I think that's real wood. And I think they took the time to match it. It looks like it's a 3-piece body, maybe 4. But they really match the grain really nice, nicer than I've seen on much more expensive guitars. So that's a huge plus. Anyways, more guitars coming in the pipeline. I bought a guitar from China today, and it's going by the slow boat to China. It's from Temu, and they said for $8 more we'll fly it. And I thought, I'm in no rush. So it's a 6 to 8 week wait. but literally it's slow boat from China, which is fine. It's a really oddball guitar. You'll check it out hopefully by the middle of May. We have a Gretsch coming on Wednesday. Sale on Gretsch at Adorama. You have to go into Slick Deals to find it, but this is the G2622, the ES335 sized guitar. Yeah, for $249. Woohoo! So that should be here on Wednesday. Anyways, we'll be back with more adventures. It is spring-like outside, although we're supposed to get some rain and maybe some snow, but that's life in Montana. Anyways, we'll be back. We'll be back.